Somebody asked on Reddit, ways to appear on the first page of Google search results. Are there any tried and tested ways to appear on the first or even second or third pages of Google search results? And actually, there is. There is one very tried and tested way. And that's what came to mind. I saw this. I was saying, what should I make today's episode on? That's what I'm going to make it on. It's the biggest thing to do to get on to Google's first page just pretty fast. That works a lot. And that is, and I say this on pretty much every episode that I talk about SEO on, it's put the keyword, your target keyword. First of all, have a target keyword, and put it at the beginning of your page title, at the beginning of your meta description, put it in your H1, put it in your URL slug, and then put it at the beginning of your first sentence. That's it. That's literally the most tried and tested way to appear on the first page of Google. And then, don't pick keywords where lots of other competitors in the search engine results pages are doing the same thing. If you're going into a search engine results page and all of your competitors are doing that, or all of your competitors have super high domain authority, they're doing something similar to that. Like some of them are targeting the keywords well, and they have high domain authority. It's going to be a bit harder. You want to pick a keyword where not that many people are targeting it super well. If you're going into a competitive keyword, then yeah, it's a bit more difficult. But if you have an under-targeted keyword, and there are so many of these keywords, if you have an under-targeted keyword, the easiest way, and it works so well, it's put the keyword in those 5 places. The reason you have it at the beginning of your page title and not further down along the page title, like not in the middle or at the end of the page title, the reason why it's better to have it at the beginning of the page title is because people are impatient and they're looking through the search engine results pages, just quickly scanning, trying to find something that's going to help them. And you want to help people, specifically the people who are using this exact keyword that you are targeting. And so when they see their keyword at the beginning of a page title, some of them might not even read the rest of a page title. Some of them really might read the first 2 or 3 words of a page title. When they see their keyword at the beginning of the page title, they see it right away and it just catches their attention. Then they're going to be a lot more likely to click. Now, there is actually something that you can do if you're in a more competitive page, because sometimes you do have people who are targeting the same keyword. In fact, that happens all the time. So this is what you do. You still put your keyword at the beginning of your page title, but then you put a vertical dividing line and you say why your page is different or why your page is better or the extra advantage that your page brings. So for example, you could just write quick and easy, or you can write free, or you can write low cost, or you can write fast results. There's so many of these different things that you can say. It depends on your niche, of course, but you add in this vertical line and then this extra benefit that your page or your product or your brand gives to the searchers. And so then that distinguishes you from the rest of the pages, from the rest of the websites that are targeting this keyword. But the number one thing is to put the keyword in all the places that I mentioned. Having it in the URL, that's more for search engines. Having it in the meta description, that's also actually more for search engines, because sometimes, in fact, oftentimes, Google will use text from the page as the meta description. Google will make its own meta description based on what is on your page. Now, the reason you have it in the H1, in the top heading, and in the first sentence, at the beginning of the first sentence, that's for searchers. You don't want searchers to get to your page and then bounce. If they do that, then Google will derank your page, or it will rank your page a lot lower. You want searchers to get to your page and be like, okay, this page is for me. I'm going to stick on this page and read it through. And so you want to give them what they want basically as soon as possible. I just started adding TLDRs into some of my pages. I had already been doing this in a different way, but I'm literally now writing TLDR. This is for top of funnel pages. So what I do is I take all of my newsletters and I post them to my site. And when possible, if a newsletter will satisfy a keyword, if there's actually a keyword that I can use for the newsletter, I will replace the newsletter title with that keyword. So for example, I put out a newsletter about how to rank on Google Images with a hack that I did, a crazy hack where I made a photos page on my website called Edward Sturm Photos. And then I think like 30 out of the 140 results in the photos in Google Images of my name, Edward Sturm, 30 of the 140 photos are from that photos page. And so I made a newsletter about this, about how I did this. And then I took that newsletter, and the newsletter subject line, I think it was just like photos or something. One-word subject lines have higher open rates, so I use one-word subject lines. But then when I took this newsletter and I put it onto my site, I found a keyword for it, how to get on Google Images. And I put that keyword in all the places that I described. And literally within a week of publishing, I was ranking, I think, number 8 for how to get on Google Images. And then last week, or maybe it was this week, I don't remember, I added in a TLDR. I said, TLDR, how I brute forced more images of my brand on Google Images and how you can do it too. And actually, my most recent newsletter, it was the subject line was 100x, and I made the title, How Often to Post on Instagram in 2025, as much as you can. See, if I just said how often to post on Instagram in 2025, then I would be competing with lots of other people. So then I added as much as you can to distinguish my page from other pages. And I also added a TLDR. I said TLDR, the more you post, literally even 100 times a day, the more visibility and followers you get. You add these TLDRs, it makes users think that, okay, this is for me, I'm going to read on. If it's a bottom of funnel page, if you're targeting a page with purchase intent, you very quickly want to give a call to action button so searchers can get what they are coming from right away. If it's top of funnel, and again, I only target top of funnel with content that I have already made for another purpose. I will not do top of funnel SEO unless I am using the content for something else. It's generally a waste of time. Top of funnel converts worse than bottom of funnel. It's a lot more difficult these days because people are going to AI or they're going to Reddit. In fact, all the time, Google is ranking Reddit or YouTube above individual websites. But if I can put in 5 minutes of extra work to target a keyword when I'm putting my article onto my site, then I'm going to do those extra 5 minutes. And the reason I put all of these newsletters onto my site is because now I have an archive. First of all, it ranks. So it's just why not? It's very little extra work and it ranks. But people can read my articles. They can binge on previous ones that I've written. And lots of people do that. And it's very good for my brand. I have people who contact me. They're like, I just discovered you. I can't believe I haven't discovered you sooner. And I'm binging on all of your articles. This is incredible. And I had people like that when I was learning digital marketing. And I remember how I felt towards those people. And it's amazing that people are feeling that way towards me. So that's why I have my newsletters on my site. But so the number one thing to do, the tried and tested way to appear on the first page of Google, put the keyword at the beginning of the page title, put a distinguisher as well, like the extra benefit that I said, put the keyword at the beginning of the meta description, in the H1, in the URL slug, and at the beginning of the first sentence. This isn't going to work as well if you're going after more competitive keywords where lots of other websites are also doing this. But generally, this works really, really well. And so I wanted to answer that question on today's episode of the show. There's a lot of people who don't know how to get on the first page of Google search results. And the last thing I'll say, if you are just beginning with search engine optimization, if you're just starting out, you need to tell Google that your website exists. Google will discover that on its own if your website is getting enough clicks, enough traffic, or if people have linked to it. But if that hasn't really happened, the easiest way to do this is to use Google Search Console. That's Google's own tool for accessing their search index. Literally, Google made a tool for submitting your website and your pages to Google. So submit your website to Google Search Console, submit your sitemaps. This is just a list of all the pages on your site that you want Google to know about. Submit your sitemaps to Google Search Console. And then every time you publish a page, a new page, or update an existing page, submit that to Google Search Console as well. And I think this will be a very helpful episode for some people. It is really the biggest thing to do with SEO is to target the keyword properly and to think about the search intent. What is the searcher hoping to get from landing on your page for this keyword? That's all that I got for you on this episode of the podcast. This is episode 575 of my daily digital marketing, daily search engine optimization, daily marketing podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm recording in a lovely hotel, restaurant, lobby bar. I just had an Americano. It's such a beautiful day here. I'm feeling amazing. I hope you're feeling amazing too. Today's going to be a great day. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.